has come. For 300 years, we prepared, we grew stronger. While you rested in your cradle of power.
So they finally announced Captain Marvel 2 and its release date. It's been a long time coming. Took them long enough, but they finally announced it. I'm going to go over a couple of things and why I think that this film is not going to do that well. Because Captain Marvel 1 made a lot of money. Made a lot of money. Made like almost, or did it make $1 billion? Made quite a bit. But I think the reason for that is they made it seem like you need to see Captain Marvel 2 to go see Avengers Endgame. Because always remember, Captain Marvel was sandwiched between two Avengers movies. And Infinity War is without a doubt the Empire Strikes Back of this generation. So you put Captain Marvel in between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. That's like releasing, a Star Wars. Imagine if you could go back in time to, when Star Wars was at its peak. Empire Strikes Back just came out. It was a couple of years until Return of the Jedi dropped. So imagine if you were able to put some Star Wars movie in between that, it would have done really well. And that's kind of basically what happened with Captain Marvel. They made it seem like you needed to see Captain Marvel to really understand Endgame, which wasn't the case. You could actually skip Captain Marvel and never miss a beat. In fact, it's almost better that way because then the stupid Avengers retcon that they did goes away, and Nick Fury doesn't seem like a wuss. You don't find out how he lost his eye. That to me is a better way to go. So Captain Marvel was an unnecessary movie, and I don't think that movie has held up that well with a lot of people. The only people that really praise it are the weirdos on Twitter. The DVD sales were not good for that movie, and it's going to be really interesting. So they're kind of setting this film up like Spider-Man Far From Home, as in they're putting it at the end of all of their movie chains. So they have a chain of movies they've announced and all of the dates. We'll go over to deadline for that. So here are the dates for all of the films. Black Widow is going to be November 6th, and then that sets off the chain reaction. Eternals moves to February 12th, 2021. Shang-Chi moves to May 7th, 2021. Doctor Strange 2 moves to November 5th, 2021. Thor Love and Thunder moves to February 18th, 2022. And then that kicks off the 2022 year. Then you have Black Panther moving to May 6th, 2022. And then Captain Marvel 2 will now drop July 8th, 2022. So one thing that kind of speaks out to me there is you have Black Panther 2. So they're trying to kind of replicate the success of the last one in this way. You have Black Panther 2, which is a heavy hitter. Black Panther 1 was a big movie, made a lot of money, and I think that this one is going to make a lot of money as well. That's actually a decent movie. I liked Black Panther, to be honest. That's the one I actually bought. I have every Marvel movie on Blu-ray except for Captain Marvel, because I don't need Captain Marvel, and I think it's a terrible movie. I don't need to watch it ever again, and I have no intention to ever watch it again, because you don't need to. You can skip it. But the reason that I say that this kind of reminds me of the Spider-Man thing is, so number one, Captain Marvel 2 is at the end of the run. Okay, you're putting at the end of your latest Marvel run. This is Phase 5, I think, or Phase 4 complete. This is all the movies they announced, except for Guardians of the Galaxy 3 and Fantastic Four. I think those are the only ones that we don't have on here. So this is Phase 4, just about done. So you're putting Captain Marvel 2 after Black Panther 2, and it's not that long. That comes out in May, and then shortly after, a little bit after, we get July 8th rolls around, Captain Marvel 2 drops. So as long as Black Panther 2 does well, I'm sure they'll put like an Easter egg at the end of it. They'll put a little after credit scene of Carol Danvers suiting up or something, and then this will drop. But be as it may, Black Panther 2 is no Endgame. And I really wonder, how will this film do? I think it's going to do poorly. I think it's going to do bad. And we're going to take the mask off now, and we're going to see how well Captain Marvel does without sandwiching her between two mega movies. It's going to be an interesting time. This one will make or break the character as well. And it's going to make or break the MCU, because don't forget, She's the leader of the Avengers now, or the A-Force, or whatever they're going to do for the new Avengers team. She's the new leader. She's the new leader. And she's the face of the MCU now. Don't forget, that's Kevin Feige's own words. Brie Larson is now the face of the MCU. What if that movie falls flat? What if that movie is a complete bomb? That's going to look terrible for Marvel and for Disney. And what do you do then? I mean, you've already put your eggs in that basket. You got a 5-picture deal with this woman. What do you do? What do you do? So let's go over this. This isn't that long. Captain Marvel will be flying even higher, further, faster come July 2022. According to Deadline, the Marvel Cinematic Universe sequel will debut in theaters on July 8th, 2022. The film was previously only confirmed for a 2022 release date, and it fills one of Disney's previously announced untitled action film slots. Captain Marvel 2's development was confirmed by MCU overlord Kevin Feige at the 2019 San Diego Comic-Con, where the plot details are thin. There is some speculation that the film will tie into the Disney Plus MCU series Ms. Marvel and WandaVision. The announcement came amid Disney's summer lineup reshuffle. Black Widow, which was supposed to hit on May 1st, will now premiere November 2nd. This pushed back the entire MCU lineup, aside from Black Panther 2, which is still scheduled for a May 6th, 2022 release. Carol Danvers was last seen in Avengers Endgame at the funeral of Tony Stark. She helped the team defeat Thanos and bring back those lost during the snap. It is unclear if the sequel will pick after the events of Endgame or serve as a prequel similar to the original Captain Marvel and the upcoming Black Widow. It's going to for sure be a sequel to Endgame. It's not going to be a prequel like the first one was. They're not going to do that because that was another trick, driving the film on nostalgia and sandwiching it, like I said. So we'll see what happens. I don't think it's going to do well. I just really don't think the hype for this character is real at all. The comics don't sell. Any merchandise with the character doesn't sell. I really do believe it was putting the movie between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi of Marvel that made it so much money. They really tricked you and made you think that you need to go see that movie to get Endgame. And the hype was real for Endgame, and I think you could put any pile of crap in between those two movies and it would have done well. So we'll see what happens. But I'm not holding my breath for this to make the same amount of money. And I think it'll do well, but here's the thing. You've got a lot of movies here with no Avengers hype. This is the real test for the MCU. All your heavy hitters are gone. You know, the bite just isn't the same now. If, one of them starts faltering in the theaters and they make less money, it's going to be a domino effect. And what if Thor: Love and Thunder doesn't do well? All this can factor into Captain Marvel 2 as well. I'd say it's more of a gamble to put this at July 8th, 2022, to be honest. I would have put it between Thor: Love and Thunder and Black Panther 2. I would have tried to model those two Avengers films, sandwich it between two heavy hitters, and see how it does. But now you're putting it in effectively the same spot that you put Spider-Man, put it in after a Juggernaut movie, which is Black Panther 2. And I still think Spider-Man would have made more money if they would have given that movie a little bit more of a breath between, Endgame and itself. But we'll see what happens. I think this movie's going to fail, and I think it's going to lead to, I predict, an eventual reboot of the entire MCU so that they can bring back everybody and reset the universe. We'll see what happens. But anyway, there you go. Captain Marvel 2 is coming out. What do you think? Do you think it's going to be a failure? Do you think it's going to do good? Do you think the MCU is going to kind of flatten out? Remember, they're getting pretty woke this time. So we'll see how that works out for them. Give me your thoughts. Throw a like up. Share the video. Hit that notification bell. Make sure you still subscribe. Subscribe if you're new. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. Also, if you want to help support the channel, check out my Teespring store. There's a link in the description. You can find some merchandise in there that you might want to check out. Also, take a moment. Make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. There's something going on right now, and they've been unsubscribing people. So just take a second and double check on that, and subscribe if you're new.
I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.